In the untamed realms of the African savanna, where the golden grasses sway under the relentless sun, a sight so harrowing can stop anyone in their tracks. A white lion, once a majestic monarch of the wild, now bears an unforgiving testament to nature's darker side, a horrific wound, festered and crawling with unscrupulous insects. This once grand creature, renowned not just for its stunning color, but for its regal presence, now lies vulnerable and tainted by an infestation that sends shivers down the spine. Is it fate that has befallen this creature, or has nature orchestrated a sordid tale of survival? As we delve into the macabre details of this unfolding tragedy, prepare to be both captivated and horrified, for the truth is as gruesome as it is unsettling. The wound on the white lion's flank is a grotesque mixture of crimson and putrid green, where the skin is raised and the flesh beneath has succumbed to an army of invasive insects. Flies, those sinister harbingers of decay, have made their home in the lion's flesh, laying eggs that hatch into writhing larvae. Maggots feast upon the lion, a chilling testament to the cycle of life that thrives in decay. This is the essence of the natural world, a delicate balance that often tips into the darkest of realms. As we observe more closely, one can see the insidious nature of this infestation. The larvae, nourished by the flesh of this once mighty predator, transform the lion into a mere shell of its former self, a living buffet for these creatures whose very survival hinges on the suffering of another. The flies are drawn to the lion by the very scent of infection, showcasing a grim understanding of which wounds are ripe for their grotesque sustenance. Each day, they return like uninvited guests, feeding on the suffering that has befallen this noble beast. Insects, often vilified in the grand hierarchy of nature, hold a vital, albeit disgusting, role in the ecosystem. These scavengers are nature's recyclers, breaking down what life leaves behind. Yet, when the balance tips too far, as evidenced by the condition of our afflicted lion, their role begins to morph from a central ecologist to ruthless executioner. This perilous dance of symbiosis becomes a macabre spectacle in which the lion is unwittingly cast as both victim and host. And therein lies the eerie fascination of this scenario. The white lion, an apex predator, brought low by the very creatures that exist on the fringes of our understanding. Here, we witness the grim twist of fate that no creature, regardless of its status on the food chain, can escape. Predators like this lion are not invincible. They too are subject to nature's law, wherein life and death mingle in a perpetual cycle, sometimes revealing a luscious symphony of life, and at other times, a discordant, festering lamentation. As we continue to observe, one cannot ignore the moral quandary that arises from this vigil. The lion's plight raises unsettling questions about the balance of nature and the role of humans within this intricate web. Have we, in our pursuit of dominance over the animal kingdom, disrupted these systems, leading to an overpopulation of insects that now thrive where they shouldn't? Our actions ripple through the ecosystem, provoking responses from the wild that can sometimes backfire with catastrophic results. Is the treatment of such wounds by humanity, our hospitals, our clinics, merely a way of assuaging our guilt, or is it part of a larger narrative in which we play the unwelcome role of meddler? Yet nature persists, indifferent to the ethical dilemmas we create, while the lion suffers not from negligence, but from the relentless march of life that exists even in chaos. It evokes a certain dark humor in the absurdity of existence. Here lies a creature, the embodiment of strength, reduced to an object of gruesome curiosity. In the shadowy depths of the jungle, where the vibrant greens clash with the haunting cries of unseen creatures, a white tiger prowls. This majestic beast, a symbol of beauty and power, is marred by a grotesque affliction, a horrific barnacle wound that clings to its side like a sinister badge of survival. As we delve into the life of this extraordinary animal, we are confronted with a chilling reality. Nature, in all its splendor, can also be a harbinger of grotesque suffering. The barnacle infestation on this tiger is not merely a physical ailment. It is a testament to the harshness of life in the wild, where beauty and horror coexist in a delicate balance. Barnacles, those seemingly innocuous crustaceans, are notorious for their ability to latch onto unsuspecting hosts. In this case, the white tiger, with its striking coat and powerful physique, has become an unwilling canvas for these relentless invaders. The barnacles, with their hard calcified shells, burrow into the tiger's skin, creating a grotesque landscape of infection and decay. Each barnacle is a tiny fortress, drawing nutrients from the tiger's body, leaving behind a trail of pain and suffering. The wound festers, a dark reminder of the tiger's struggle against the relentless forces of nature. As we observe this tragic scene, we are forced to confront the uncomfortable truth. The tiger's plight is a reflection of our own impact on the natural world. Human encroachment, pollution, and climate change have disrupted ecosystems, leading to a rise in parasitic infestations. The barnacles that cling to our tiger are not just a product of nature, they are a consequence of our actions. In our quest for progress, we have forgotten the delicate balance that sustains life. Yet, amidst the darkness, there is a flicker of humor to be found. Imagine the tiger, once the apex predator, now a reluctant host to a colony of barnacles, perhaps contemplating its new role as a mobile seafood restaurant. It's a darkly comedic twist on the circle of life, where even the mightiest can become a victim of circumstance. In the end, the story of this white tiger serves as a poignant reminder of our interconnectedness with the natural world. We must tread carefully, for in our pursuit of dominance, we risk becoming the very parasites we seek to eradicate. Nature, in all its beauty and brutality, demands our respect and understanding. Let us not forget that we are all part of this intricate web of life, where every action has a consequence, and every creature, no matter how majestic, can fall prey to the darker forces of existence. In the desolate expanses of the Arctic, where silence reigns and the biting cold seeps into the very marrow of existence, there emerges a harrowing sight that shatters this icy tranquility: a polar bear, staggering and ravaged, its mighty frame, marred by a horrific honeycomb wound. This isn't just any would-be king of the ice. This creature is a stark testament to the brutal realities of survival in a world increasingly hostile. Beneath its thick, snowy white fur lies an open wound, its flesh resembling a grotesque sweet treat that nature never intended. The sight is enough to twist your stomach and burn itself into your memory. As the polar bear trudges on, its breath heavy with both the weight of suffering and the vigor of life, it carries not only the burden of its injury, but also a swarm of barnacles clinging to its skin. These barnacles, seemingly innocent yet grotesquely alien, have found an unlikely home on the bear's body, thriving where few creatures would dare to tread. In their quest for sustenance, they latch onto the bear with their stubborn, claw-like appendages, feeding off its flesh and weakening its already beleaguered form. This relationship is not one of symbiosis. Rather, it is a dark, parasitic tale of exploitation and survival. The barnacles thrive in the permafrost, their hard exteriors contrasting sharply with the softness of the bear's vulnerable skin, digging into the surface, feeding on the life force that belongs to this majestic beast. As they multiply, the polar bear becomes a living graveyard, a chilling reminder of nature's relentless cruelty and a microcosm of the ecological crises unfolding beyond the icy borders. In the vast, untamed wilderness of North America, where the sun bleeds orange across endless plains, and the whisper of the wind carries the ancient tales of survival, one majestic creature stands as a living testament to nature's raw power: the bison. But as we delve deeper into this seemingly idyllic scene, we are met with an unsightly reality, a grotesque affliction that lies hidden beneath their robust fur. A barnacle wound so horrific it shocks the senses. This is not a tale of a solitary infection. It is a sinister dance between man, nature, and a creature that once roamed the earth freely. Imagine, if you will, a bison moving with the grace of a tank through the fields, only to reveal a nightmare upon closer inspection. From a distance, its thick layer of fur looks impenetrable, but as we approach, we discover patches missing, revealing exposed skin. Here, on this giant's flank, barnacles, those seemingly innocuous creatures often wedged between rocks and boats, have made this proud behemoth their unwitting host. These barnacles, thriving in their parasitic embrace, take the form of hard beige nodules that cling tightly to the poor creature's flesh, burrowing deep and causing unspeakable discomfort. At first glance, barnacles might invoke a sense of nostalgia for childhood beach outings, where we would collect seashells and race the tide. Yet, these marine crustaceans are playing a sinister game, oblivious to this bison's pain. The barnacles dig in, using their calcified shells to anchor themselves to the robust hide of their host. The process begins when microscopic larvae, usually carried by water currents, manage to latch onto a bump or scar on the bison's skin. Once settled, they metamorphose into adults, forming a hard shell in a desperate bid for survival. What unfolds is a grotesque relationship. The barnacle extracts nutrients from the bison's tissue, while the bison must endure the agony of their presence, an unwelcome, living tattoo that eats away at their very essence. As the infestation grows, the barnacles multiply, creating clusters that resemble fungal growths from the depths of a nightmare. Each barnacle feasts and flourishes, draining life from the bison little by little, an ancient conflict of survival that epitomizes nature's brutal laws. The wound transforms not just visibly, but internally, leading to infection, swelling, and a world of pain for this giant creature. The bison, once a symbol of strength and resilience, becomes a canvas for a horrific display of nature's cruelty, an epitome of suffering wrapped in a magnificent coat of fur. But this is not merely a tale of tragedy. It whispers of the larger relationship between humans, animals, and the environment. As we explore the underlying causes of this affliction, we confront an unsettling truth. Human interference, pollution, climate change, and habitat destruction has set the stage for these barnacles to thrive in places they should never call home. As coastlines erode and ecosystems shift, we see a pattern emerging. What was formerly a natural order has descended into chaos, scattering creatures like barnacles into territory where they become predators. In the frigid depths of the ocean, a monstrous tale unfolds, the story of a whale afflicted by an extreme case of barnacle infestation, a scene that evokes both fascination and horror. Imagine, if you will, the hulking body of this majestic creature, gliding through the water with the grace that belies its size, yet marred by a gruesome spectacle, an abhorrent wound teeming with barnacles. These marine creatures, small yet devastatingly numerous, have taken hold, piercing the whale's thick skin, forming a grotesque landscape of white and beige shells that seem to thrive almost gangrenously in their newfound environment. As we delve deeper, let us consider the biology at play. Barnacles are not simply unwanted guests. They are opportunistic settlers, utilizing the whale's vast surface as a prime real estate, effectively turning the gentle giant into a thriving ecosystem for them. Fascinating yet repellent, they anchor themselves tightly with a cement-like substance, inhibiting the whale's natural movements. Each barnacle, a small fortress, forms a colony that multiplies exponentially, creating complex formations that can weigh hundreds of pounds. Their sharp edges can cause painful lacerations, inviting infection, and further complicating the whale's struggle for survival. The wound swells with the weight of these parasites, which compete for the nutrients and oxygen available through the whale's skin, a grotesque parasitic symbiosis that is anything but harmonious. While the barnacles feast, the whale bears the brunt of their existence, laboring in its journey through the oceans, often succumbing to exhaustion and more severe health complications. It's a dark dance of life and death, a true testament to nature's relentless cycles where beauty can easily flip to monstrosity. Yet, as we observe this unfortunate creature,